Show with your hosts, Brian Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
October 23rd, 2018, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com, Retro, Raw, and Nitro, 19 years ago this week. Let's talk about on this show here. Raw's still bad.
I was just going over my notes here. I see words like terrible, awful, infuriating.
It is not boring.
No.
It's fucking terrible, though.
So it's been like a month now, maybe a little more. You said you needed Raw to get better and Nitro to got worse.
Yes.
One of those things has happened.
Nitro is much worse,
which makes it better.
Yeah, it's really less boring than Raw show. Raw is just as well. It's not as bad. I think Raw. If Raw. I would say that now it's a 4. That's still 40% of 100 failure.
I don't have. I think that's very fair.
Nitro has gone from a 2 to a 9, and on a quality scale has gone from like
probably a little generous, but your point stands.
Yeah. So that's where we are right now. So we're going to start with Raw as always, Vinny.
Yes.
I thought I'd help you out here.
Why, thank you.
Yes.
I wrote it out.
I know.
No,
really.
Do Raw first. I don't believe that part.
Well,
so, WWF Monday Night Raw number 335, October 1999. The New Age Outlaws demand a tag title shot. Have we talked, by the way, about how these tag titles have bounced around like 4 times in the past month?
No, because I don't give a shit.
Okay.
I have no idea who the champions are. Like, there's no shit nobody remembers.
Yeah.
They changed hands last week, correct?
I think someone pointed out we reviewed and none of us even noticed.
Right. Yeah.
So the New Age Outlaws, I believe, as we started here, it's the Hollies.
Yeah, it's the Hollies.
I thought it was Edge and Christian.
They won them last week.
They get a title shot on the show.
I could have sworn that Vince said the Hollies are getting the shot tonight.
Oh, that was last week, Brian.
I could have sworn
that
this
was
show.
Last week.
No, on this show when he met with the Outlaws.
That was last week, Brian.
He said Edge and Christian are getting a shot at the Hollies. Dude, but we'll see who the tag title match is.
Craig.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if I got it wrong, but I'm not talking about last week. I'm talking about what happened on this show tonight when the Outlaws met with Vince. I could have sworn that Vince and the Hollies are getting the shot.
Sure, you're
it doesn't fucking matter, but I was sweet. I'm talking about this segment here.
In this segment, he said,
who gives a shit?
Clearly you do.
I don't give a shit.
Why are you so mad?
Let me get the time on this.
Get out of here, Vinny.
Point is,
there's going to be another shoot battle royal here in this fucking room in about 5 minutes. I don't know where I'm going to throw you.
So the Outlaws demands no Edge and Christian getting a title shot instead. Also, Mankind is challenging Hunter. He tells this to the Outlaws. I don't know why. They want anyway. Hunter shows up. He's not happy about having to have a match against Mankind. He and the Outlaws go back and forth. Hunter suggests the Outlaws should wrestle Rock and Austin. They're fine with it. Vince is fine with it. So that's the main event. The Godfather can't find Mark Henry. Eventually found him with like 20 women.
Yeah, the Godfather is going to be facing Viscera.
Again,
for some reason, he has to find Mark Henry first.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have been better off leaving Mark Henry in the back.
Actually, I got an explanation for this.
He was looking for the hose.
He was looking for the hose, and he goes, wait a second. Mark Henry's missing as well.
If I find Mark, I'll find them.
Well, it was just so... He needed Mark Henry to be down there. He was like, Mark, we gotta go. I was like, what do you need him down there for? Right?
As it turned out, it was a bad idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Godfather wrestled Viscera again. Last week, this was better than I thought it would be. This week, it was not. This challenged the Godfather to put the hose in the line, all 20 of them.
Let me recap his promo here because I'm not making any of this up. First off, it's Viscera cutting a promo. You ever heard Viscera cut a promo before?
Not since, like, King Mabel.
Few and far between.
Yeah.
It's a promo and he says, I know that Midian might like farm animals, but I like hoes. And by the way, his mic kept cutting out. So all you heard was like, but I like hoes. Sexy hoes. There's all this dead air. But for some reason, you can hear all of the important stuff.
Can we get that drop, please?
He really likes the Godfather's sexy hose. He wants a match where all the hoes are on the line tonight. And Godfather says, that's fine. I got Mark Henry here to watch my back.
Oh, Brian's proving a point.
What are you talking about? Vinny, what are you doing?
You petty.
Thought of it this afternoon. Finally came to him in a dream.
Well, it makes me
I have no idea what you guys are talking
It
about.
makes me feel heard that.
Well, I didn't hear anything. So let me continue here. So Godfather says, it's fine. I got Mark Henry here to watch my back. And Viscera said, Mark, if I win. Look at this idiot.
I'm looking at an idiot.
I tried so hard to just do a show here. All of this insanity. So anyway, Viscera said, Mark, you can do whatever you want with those hoes 24/7. But yeah. You'll never guess what happened.
Mark Henry turned his Viscera win. Yeah. So Viscera has the hose. He makes them all leave. Two of them, they pointed out, are loyal hoes. The exact terms they used. They were tending to the Godfather. Viscera didn't like it.
Hey, that's much better than disloyal hoes.
Best kind, actually.
Yeah.
Viscera didn't like it, and so Viscera, the 500-pound man, beat up these small, skinny women.
He grabbed, at first he just booed us, and then he gave a big splash. And
He power slammed one, I
he
think.
gave the other one the world's strongest slam.
Yeah.
They showed a replay, and as appalling as it was that he beat up two women, in close second to that is the fact that Viscera is getting a push.
Well, yeah. Yeah. They kept trying. They had great faith.
Why in the fuck are 1995?
That was 5 years.
Clearly a mistake.
5 years now, and they're trying again 5 years after this as Big Daddy V and ECW.
Blurred out. They replay it again. I don't get
The wrestler or in real life.
Cole interviews The Rock, who says he'll team with Austin tonight and then face him in the three-way at Survivor Series. The women are loaded. The Dudleys are laughing about it. They see they'll beat up Kane tonight. They're about to make some kind of joke when the cameras abruptly Jerry Lawler refers to the man as Bubba Ray Douglas.
Bubba Ray Douglas.
Didn't catch that. Yeah. Hollies versus Edge and Christian. It was for the tag
We have
titles.
no idea who the champions are.
Very good, right?
Nor do we.
I just think it's funny that the Hardys win the Terry Invitational Tournament, and Terry, and the money, but Edge and Christian get the title shot.
No.
So,
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
It is very possible to take the
that
titles
actually is true.
multiple times
That may have happened. That's fair.
in the last couple of weeks.
So the match goes cool attacks of the DQ.
Too cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've debuted
Yeah.
Scott Taylor and Brian Christopher,
Yes.
as they are described.
Who Jerry Lawler no sold. Who's that?
Well, they both did. The announcers are both like, who are these guys?
Well, recognized Scott Taylor, but he claimed he did not recognize Brian Christopher.
Nice. So the Hardys make the save in their debut. Somebody's
Yeah, whose music was that? Is that Too Cool's music before they got improved theme?
Yeah. So remember last week when Moolah and May broke up?
Yeah.
They're back together.
Well, you have little tips here and there, and you kind of get back. Yeah.
Oh.
You guys don't know anything about that. Anyway, she's in there with Michael Cole.
Three of us.
Michael Cole says Moolah, and before she in May says, I want to thank you so much. Never wrestled. And she was so sincere.
Yeah. Well, she was, I'm sure.
I mean that in a nice way possible.
Yeah.
I don't mean that negative.
Retire. And I've heard dozens of it always boo. Unless you are the fabulous Moolah in 19... I'm giving up this title, everyone goes, yes!
I like it, man. Even care.
So, Ivory comes out, calls them witches, demands her, will not let Moolah retire until she beats her for the belt, and then Ivory hit her with a lariat and pinned her in 10 seconds to win the belt.
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
Then she beat the hell out of Mae Young, and she threw Mae Young over the top rope.
Yeah.
Mae Young grabs the top rope for dear life as she's going over. She's practically doing a pull-up.
Mm-hmm.
She whacks her hip and lower back on the ring, the apron. Falls her ass down, and that was the spot right there. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
What are you talking about?
The show's haunted tonight.
I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, if you don't draw attention to it, it's not.
Prince Albert goes to talk to the Big Show. Says, listen, man, I'd like to wrestle you tonight. I'd like to come myself, but I want you to know I'm not the Big
I'm not doing anything here, by the way. My hands are free. I can put them on my head if you want. Craig thinks there's some sort of gimmick right here.
Put your hands in your head. Okay, don't move.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll hang out here.
So he tells
Oh,
Big Show,
my shoulders are tired.
I'm not the boss man. At this point, I think it was Cole. Somebody says, let's take an emotional look at the heartbreaking last few weeks of the Big Show. I assume it was Cole. It sounds like the kind of thing Michael Cole would say and not feel shame about it.
Stupid storyline.
Oh, it is. So Big Show versus Prince Albert. We have reached the stage where Big Show's wrestling in a shirt now.
Yeah, but you know what? He threw an enziguri early.
He did.
The biggest, fattest enziguri you've ever seen. It looked pretty good.
And Albert's not small.
Yeah.
You had to get up. You had to get that leg up there. I was doing a match with the Avalanche once. And the few men ever wrestled bigger than me. And he catches the kick and says, enziguri. I'm like, are you serious? I jumped up there as best I can. He had my leg, which helped. And
He called you to do an enziguri?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see him having the balls to try it himself, but
Yeah.
he told you to do it.
Yeah. And no one died, and apparently it looked okay.
Wow.
I never did one again.
Oh, you should have put it in your
Retired undefeated as an enziguri-er.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Should have done a gimmick where you tried it with everybody, but since you're so tall, it just went over
over
everyone's
their head.
head, and they started their comeback.
damn, that's good.
Couldn't do it to the Avalanche.
They won't work with him, but
Plenty of ideas.
anyway, this is all actually happening. The big boss man comes out with a microphone and it declares to the world, I visited the Big Show's father and I stole his pocket watch.
No, Vinny. Hospital. This old geezer is in the hospital. He was about to pull the plug on the old geezer. He was going to kill the Big Show's father. Yes, a nurse showed up or something, and thus he just stole his hair, his watch.
So he did this dastardly deed, flew to the building.
Yeah.
We just now hearing about this.
Yeah.
No one told him before.
This is what's weird about the storyline like this. So, presume. What's that face for?
This is what's weird. I don't know what you're gonna say.
Okay, well,
but
let me-
there's so
let me say
much.
it then.
There's a ton.
So we're I presume supposed to believe that full of shit.
Yeah,
Really went to the hospital
that's probably what I thought.
because he shows up with the
Was fooled.
alleged heirloom, and you would think that if he showed up with the heirloom. So I'm gonna go kill the cats now, Vinny, or should I just
Go
keep
kill a
going
cat.
here?
Bring me a
Okay,
cat.
I'll go kill these cats. I'll be right back.
The most proud man you've ever seen. He's picked up the guitar like, oh, Jesus Christ. The cast with his guitar, which is a rip works because that guitar is not cheap. Yeah. He's killed a cat when he comes back in.
Yeah, hopefully the cats beat him.
He's playing a concert. His note.
I think that might have done it. Everything? We hear anything else now, or does it seem like...
It's quieter, Brian.
Yes, Rob.
Have I been replaced by Vince Russo and
Knocking about. Get out of here, Rob.
just...
You need to start watching Nitro.
Rob, just don't call attention to it.
That problem. Where were we? So anyway, the point of this is... Yes, Vinny.
Oh, carry on.
If the man didn't really go to the hospital, then how did he have this heirloom that the big show responded to?
That's why I think he actually did. We're supposed to believe Bossman did go to the... I know.
Man.
So Bossman goes to confront him because Bossman did get his daddy's watch. When Albert was lying and mashed the watch to pieces with the anvil.
Yeah,
And
he
an
brought out an
anvil.
To a horseshoer, apparently.
I was so caught up in the absurdity of visiting the hospital that it didn't occur to me that there's a fucking anvil in this arena.
What? Are you kidding me? He brought a fucking anvil.
He sure did.
He couldn't just put the heirloom on the stage with a hammer.
No.
He had to bring a fucking anvil in.
That's what happened.
Prove a point.
Yes. There's so much. I can't keep track of all the bullshit.
I hate when that happens.
Jericho promises to team with a fan to face D'Lo Brown in China.
Well, he kind of did.
They're attending to the big show and he gets mad and roars. He just stands up and goes, "Whoa!" and goes running off into the night. The big show, as we speak, is apparently patrolling the city in search of the big boss man. Yeah. China and D'Lo versus Jericho and a fan. Jericho looks clearly a man in drag. None of the announcers acknowledge this. So
They sort of did.
by the end they did, I guess, but... And then China tags in, and Jericho just... beats her and beats her.
And did you hear the crowd?
Yeah.
They're starting to turn on China.
Yes.
Because this is a I was writing the China bio for this upcoming book that I'm doing. I don't know if you're aware, WWE fans should know or do before they die. Writing the China bio. She was a very popular star until they gave her the inner titles. Didn't mean jack shit, and we can't remember who won what like that. These young men, the 18 to 24-year-olds, 18 to 34-year-olds, they did not want a woman as a champion. And they turned on her, and by the end of this feud, Jericho's like a babyface, and she's hated.
Yep.
Man.
So,
Not a,
no. So eventually, I don't know why, he tagged in Stevie. So China leaves and D'Lo leaves. Jericho turns on Stevie, power bombs him, puts him in the walls of Jericho. What was Jericho's plan here?
I don't know.
Did he think Stevie Richards was going to win the day for him? Did he know?
I presume we're supposed to think that he knew it was Steve.
Okay.
But the thing that I was watching, I didn't immediately know that it was Stevie Richards, okay?
No.
But I assumed it's either just some like local wrestler who's just, we're not supposed to find out who he is, or it's someone that we know. One or the other, okay? So when the guy in drag hits the ring to go after China, and anything, like he runs at her and he tries to move and she just sells it, and like some thug that Jericho found who fucking sucks.
Right.
Then we anything weren't in drag. And unable to do anything.
And then he was proven to be incompetent because he lost.
And they take off his deal as Stevie Richards, and I just... So Stevie totally sucks. Is that the story? Absolutely, totally the most shitty wrestler there's ever been.
For the last 2 months, he's been doing everybody else's gimmick. Turns out he's in drag, sitting front row. What has his trajectory been?
Vince is reading Mick Foley's book. Mick shows up.
What happened with The Rock and Mick in their book? That was like the big storyline from last week, and there was no mention of it on this show.
Just broke. He's over it.
Is this that hard? That was like a...
For you, actually, Brent.
Yes.
When Vince Russo jumped to the other brand, if you will, did a bunch of guys that were writing for WWE just pick up left off?
He wasn't like the head writer, right? Who came up with like a bunch of stuff.
He wasn't the head writer, and okay.
It was Vince and Jim Ross and Jim Cornette and with a bunch of dumb ideas, and Vince edited everything to make it not as horrible as it is, as we see on the other channel now.
Sure, but a lot of these,
Yeah. Vince listened to this car crash stuff. I mean, it's just, he wasn't gonna,
yeah, I got you.
just like Medusa wasn't in, although China did win the Intercontinental title.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little different, but the point of it is all Vince. It's always all Vince.
Mankind versus Triple H for the world title. No one cares about watching a wrestling match.
Oh, fuck. Hunter's in there doing bars on Mankind. Who could possibly care?
Eventually, they started using socks and chairs and belts. Then people cared. So Foley gets the mandible claw. Hunter's shoulders are down. The ref won't count. And so he starts to drop the arm. And then Val Venus hits Mick Foley with a chair for the DQ. And
Val Venus hit Mankind.
Yeah. And Al Snow ran out and helped Mick clear the ring. And that was that.
Just a bunch of stuff happening.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me.
It's random. Yeah. Cole interviews Austin. Says he respects Rock. They are not friends. Says the same thing. We'll team tonight and we'll fight at Survivor Series. Oh, God. Michael Hayes interviews Steph.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Steph is... She's starting to get just a little bit edgy. You know, Seth?
Okay.
She is not so innocent here tonight. She says, I'm almost 100%. I'm starting to get a lot of my memory back, including start to remember a lot of wonderful things. She gazes at Test.
Yeah. The setup is, we're looking sideways at Hayes and Steph, but there's a mirror behind them. In the mirror, we can see the reflection of Test and Shane warming up in the background, like shadow boxing and stuff.
Yes.
And this, I guess, gets Steph's motor running, watching
Can
Test.
you imagine Shane holding the focus pads for you?
Dude, for Test.
Hit him harder. Harder.
So he said she hoped Test beats up Bulldog, and at this point I wrote, sweet Jesus, this was terrible. Kevin Kelly interviews X-Pac and Kane. How does it feel, he asks, when people make fun of you?
Like he doesn't know.
Wow. That's not very nice.
So Tori told him it's not fun to make fun of Bubba Ray, but then his voice cuts out and he accidentally stutters and makes fun of him. He didn't mean to. It's just it starts to use box. Or he tells X-Pac to stay out of the match. X-Pac says, fine. And then the Dudley's in, the voice box.
Oh, what could be worse?
The match.
This fucking match was actually pretty bad.
Bubba Ray Dudley versus Kane. It's however long it went, 3 or 4 minutes of just Kane and guys. Devon, it may as well have just been a handicap match. Devon's in the whole time. And finally, even though it's been a handicap match the whole time, the ref just calls for a DQ. Fuck you.
Sage going, X-Pac, you should go out there. He is your friend. You should go out there to help him. Finally, X-Pac lurches down to the ring. I don't know if he's... Boy, could he not run. And the heels fled. They ran away from X-Pac.
Yeah, both of them. The Douglas boys. Everything about this was terrible and infuriating. Kelly interviews the Bulldog, who says Test won't remember anything about anybody.
Yeah, Steph is regaining her memory. But Tess will not remember anything about anybody after I'm done ramming his head into the cage over and over.
Concussion humor. That's funny.
Concussions. What is this fucking bulldog talking about?
So Test versus Bulldog in a cage match here in the middle of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, thank God they were in a cage. That sure everybody out.
Well, it's important that Test does his elbow off the top rope, off the top of the cage in this
Yep.
match that no one remembers at all. Zin breaks into the cage. Shane runs in, dives into the cage.
The Mean Street Posse runs in and they like just climb over the top and get in. I'm like, why is there a fucking cage here? What's the point of this thing? Besides just some for fucking Shane to jump off.
Jump off of it.
So then at the end,
Test, you forgot him too.
well, yeah, at the end, the Mean Street Posse goes to leave, okay? So they're in the cage and they got to go out the door, right?
Right.
The door, in theory, is supposed to be locked.
Right, supposed to be, yeah.
Did you see them leave?
Just open the door and go.
They walk over there, and Pete Gas reaches through, and he unlocks it, and they leave. I was like, this is so fucking stupid.
That happened.
So here's a question. Who won this match?
Nobody. We all lost.
I think Bulldog was out of the cage first.
Bulldog vanished.
So he must have left.
I don't know if he
actually,
won.
you know what?
I don't even know if he escaped the cage.
Actually, one of the announcers did actually call attention to Bulldog actually not being in the cage, so he must have won.
He must have won.
So we don't know.
It was never announced.
There was no bell. There was no
rung.
announcement.
No.
We all lost.
This is
our watching
bad
it.
professional wrestling.
Yes. Hunter taunts the Outlaws for a while.
I got more.
Oh.
So Shane runs down. He does his high cross under Rodney and Joey Abs, and Jim Ross is explaining to us. Jim Ross. Shane would do anything for his sister. I was like, have we been watching different shows?
That is false.
Wasn't he in charge of the ministry when she got
Well,
kidnapped?
He did do that,
What
yeah.
the fuck is he talking about?
Well, Shane thought that was all for Steph's own good.
Oh, yeah.
His heart was in the right place.
So, Test.
When she was
Oh, there's another one. So the posse
forfeited
leaves,
for a week. Yeah.
and Test goes after Joey Abs, drags him inside. Then he throws him outside. So I don't know why he brought him inside. Just throw him outside. And then he throws him outside, and the other two slam the cage door on Test's head.
Yeah.
Yes.
Test does not sell it at all.
No.
It whacks into his head, and he stumbles back, and he just gets up. And then they play Vince's music, No Chance in Hell. Stephanie runs down to Vince's music, and they all, like,
I'm
coddle
so
each other in
happy
the
I
ring.
didn't write this bullshit down.
It was awful. It was so horrible. And you know how much Stephanie and Shane and Vince and Linda were going to get leading up to WrestleMania 2000?
Quite a bit.
That's the main event of the show.
The Acolytes go to the friendly tap.
I can't take much more.
Show's almost over.
This thing.
They go to the friendly tap. They have some conversation.
Oh my God. In 1999,
Right.
they shoot at an angle, Vinny. I don't need it on my record when I run for mayor of Bothell.
Well, they say something about how there's some guys here who want to beat them up or something. They go into the friendly tap. In pinstripe sweatpants who wants to pick a fight. He claims he's the local arm wrestling champion. They agree to arm wrestle him. They fights do.
Yeah.
They think it's just a funny joke. This guy's very offended. They go to pick a fight. And the one man did one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Calls him a word that starts with a D and ends in... Do this, everyone. Now, Ron Simmons will kill you.
He said this
Right away.
Maybe. But then after the fourth one, it's like, okay, time to die. And then the Acolytes unleashed hell.
Yeah.
There's just carnage and warfare and destruction and terror. I saw a body go flying through the air and land back first on the hardest part of the pool table.
Yeah.
It was the apron of the pool table.
Yes.
I've cracked him.
After he called him that, I just assumed that this footage would never get out because there'd be no witnesses.
That's possible. May have been a thought.
This was Tim White's Tavern, the friendly tap.
Mhm.
They destroyed everything and then rebuilt it again.
Can you rebuild a man's spine?
Well, that guy was just
That dude-
collateral damage.
Didn't they destroy it every time they came to town?
Yeah.
Main event. New Age Outlaws versus the Boston.
I would have, if I owned the friendly tap,
rename it.
Tap.
Come on, the friendly tap is an inviting name for some. I would have left a portion of the friendly tap destroyed.
Sure.
It's an attraction.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You don't want to rebuild it every time. Come in and see where that guy died.
Yeah. And sell gimmicks at the end.
Or just a pile of broken pool sticks.
Mm-hmm.
These
Yeah, you go and you go to a secondhand store, you buy a bunch of, say, their heirlooms from the friendly tap, enhanced price.
you sign them, Farouk.
Yeah.
So Outlaws versus Rock and Austin. Crowd like the Outlaws, but they love Rock and Austin. They really made the most noise when Hunter ran in during Rock's comeback. So Austin and Hunter brawled to the back. I think it was Ross who said, "Mr. Ass is cracked."
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So bottom on Mr. Ass, but X-Pac showed up. He kicks the Rock, unpinned the Rock.
Dude. I've said this about. There's one guy who can get away with doing as many jobs as The Rock did. And it's the fucking Rock.
Dwayne Johnson.
What the fuck was this guy doing laying down for X-Pac? One kick. And The Rock gets pinned by Mr. Ass. But he was The Rock.
It was the Rock.
So he survived and thrived.
He sure
And
did.
thus for 19 fucking years, I've had them beat over again. Thinking that everyone's going to be as over as The Rock. Nobody ever is.
No one is?
No one. Never.
So DX is a thing again. It was funny because they're all out there.
Anybody remember this? Anybody
I did.
remember DX reuniting for the 9th time?
I remember they got back together.
I did. I thought it was later. I thought it was after Hunter and Steph got married. There may be another reunion.
I'm sure there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be one in 2018.
Hey,
Good.
So, it's funny they have Rock and Austin, and they start to pull out and put on the DX football jerseys, and only they didn't. They could not connect those dots until the football jerseys did that.
this is not a dot connecting crowd.
No.
No.
Just enjoying them.
Plus, I've been drinking beer since noon.
Are you ready for?
I sure am. The finish is stubborn. Pin after interference and betrayal. Who did interference? Pin in 10 seconds. Clean DQ in a world title match. DQ pin after interference. There you go.
Nicely done, Bill.
I'm looking at my Nitro notes here. I seem to have written 50,000 words. Nitro 214, October 25th.
Okay, because they had a pay-per-view the night before. Are you aware of that? Halloween Havoc.
I recall, yes,
Okay.
correct.
So, just for the record, I'm going to explain to everybody what happened at the pay-per-view in a moment, okay? But first, I'm going to read my notes for the first 10 minutes of this show.
Okay.
It ends up with no recap of the pay-per-view. None. There's a cold open, and Sting is looking for J.J. Dillon. Sting is in his street clothes. He's got his white tight shirt tucked into his jeans, which are cinched very tight. No face paint, and his new stupid haircut.
Sunglasses.
JJ, where are you? He starts throwing shit around. This is the man that just went into the Hall of Awesome.
Yes.
So Sting comes down to the ring. He says, I have a message for JJ Dillon. He says, I came out for a fight last week, and plainly put, I want to talk to JJ right now. I don't want to have to go back there after him. So JJ comes out, and this is what Sting says. There's been no recap of the pay-per-view. Sting says, last night I wrestled Goldberg in Las Vegas.
Right.
Goldberg? He says, I was trying to bail WCW out of a lousy situation because I came to defend the world title against Hulk Hogan. So in bailing this company out, I said I was in for a fight. I asked for a fight. I got one, but there's one catch. I never said anything about the world title being up for grabs. What? Sting says I want my title back right now. JJ says, Sting, you're right. Goldberg won that match against you. It was not a sanctioned match. Goldberg is not the champion, but neither are you. Here I'm thinking, wasn't it Goldberg versus Sid?
That was the plan, yeah.
Did I not watch weeks of build for Goldberg? What the fuck is happening here?
The advertised main event, yeah.
All right, Brian.
So JJ says,
This is good.
you have been stripped of the title, Sting. The powers to be
We'll get to that.
have determined that you should not be champion. And they are doing a 32-man tournament starting tonight to determine a new champion. The powers to be, not that be, to be, have put you in the tournament. And Sting says, well, give them this message. Goldberg rushes down to make this, and they brawl.
Now, you left out why they stripped him. They stripped him of the title because he threw down the ref after the match.
Because Goldberg left with his belt.
I see.
So he was screwed.
Of you that are completely baffled, as I was, is what happened at Halloween Havoc. It was supposed to be Sting versus Hogan. It was a shoot brother for Sting. So they never had a match. And apparently that's what Sting's talking about. He had to save the company because Hogan didn't do the match. So they did in fact do Sid versus Goldberg for the U.S. title. Sid destroyed. He was massacred. He beat him for the title.
Via ref stoppage.
This led to an impromptu because they needed to save the pay-per-view. The non-title match, Goldberg won, was announced as champion, and they stripped Goldberg of the title, and they announced a 32-man tournament.
Because Sting threw down the ref. That doesn't happen every Monday night.
This was so stupid.
Yeah.
How can you open and not tell everybody what happened at the pay-per-view, and then talk about it like everybody's seen it?
Well, if you were a moron, it would make it.
The number of people that were buying at that time,
Tens, I'm sure.
it was like maybe 100,000.
Yeah.
There's still millions and millions of people watching TV. Moron thought everybody must know everything that happened at that pay-per-view. Fuck! I wrote a goddamn book about it. I didn't know what happened. Annoying.
Okay, let's talk about powers
To be.
Now, I don't know if they wanted to copyright something and they couldn't copyright powers that be,
I think they just kept fucking it up.
or are they just morons?
Yeah, I think that's
They
more
know what
likely.
powers to be means?
It means to be.
Like, they'll be powerful someday, but they're
Yes.
not powerful right now.
Yes.
The powers to be. They said it over and over and over again. A handful of guys, I think in their head, they must have thought that this can't be right. I'm going to say powers that be.
Yes.
And they said it the right way. But
Yes.
no, powers to be is every bit as annoying. Well, I assume it's every bit as annoying as World Cup to determine the best in the world.
Ah! That's worse.
That's pretty bad.
Tony is now in a suit with slick back hair.
Looking sharp, by the way.
Why wouldn't he be?
We gotta turn the show around.
Well,
Put them in a fancy outfit.
so they go through what happened at Halloween Havoc, and Heenan points out
Finally.
Sting is totally in the right here. He bailed out the company, and they screwed him and stabbed him in the back.
It's true.
That's exactly what happened.
Yes.
They actually have brackets for this tournament, which stunned me.
Well, they have brackets for one portion of the 32-person tournament.
Yeah.
There are 8 quadrants, or 4 quadrants.
4 groups.
They have 1 quadrant here so far.
That's how it's done.
And in the quadrant,
NCAA
they don't
tournament.
even know who one of the people is.
There was a mystery of entry, that's true.
I'm like, well, why do we do another fucking quadrant where you know all the people in it? Why do we have a fucking question mark on the screen?
Well, that's how-
Not only that, they have these brackets. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
Okay. They only had one size font. This is what the brackets read. Are you ready for this? Luger versus Steiner.
Package versus
Which
Steiner.
Steiner?
Didn't say.
Because they ran out of fucking room.
Or did...
Then it says DDP versus D Flair. D Flair.
Yeah.
D period Flair. Question mark versus Medusa, who's not a man in this 32-man tournament.
Thank you, Brad.
And Kidman versus Conan.
You know what's funny? I actually screen capped this. I'm looking right now. They did have different fonts because total package is spelled out.
Oh no!
It's not even T package. It's total package. T package. It's total package. And then just Steiner. Charlie Steiner.
I was like, which Steiner is it? Is it that hard? You clear?
Oh, God. So that was
Creative team have alerted us, the outsiders, must wrestle tonight. Nash is no gear. I'm not even wearing underwear. But beer. Beer!
You're even more excited.
No, it's not boring.
It's not boring.
It's not boring.
Did we mention that one of these Goldberg versus Bret Hart for the U.S. title?
Oh, yeah.
Forgotten.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we said the night before, that's why I didn't know. Yeah. Just keep that in mind. Mike Tenay interviews Norman. Norman says, I'm facing Bam Bam Big Blue tonight. Ups to him, he says. But tonight is my technical wrestler. I'm the toughest man in WCW. Watch and see.
Yeah, and that's the thing
He's
about
got a
this,
character now.
the thing about this
A
tournament.
nerd?
The thing about this tournament, they just randomly insert gimmick matches. This is a tournament match that's going to be a hardcore match.
Well, we'll get
This
to
was a tournament match?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bam Bam Big Blue.
Actually, it was.
Imagine.
So it was a minute long.
All right. So Bam Bam comes out with geeks weapons. Norman comes out. He's not happy to see this. And Bam Bam says, since you're a scientifical wrestler, I challenge you to a hardcore match. Norman did not accept this challenge, but Bam Bam just started hitting him with shit, and the ref said, okay.
Booking a 32-person tournament for the heavyweight title, which they claim 1805. And your first match is Bigelow versus Norman Smiley in a 1 minute and 25-second hardcore. Norman Smiley, with a trash can on his head, falls into Big Wiggle and pins him.
You're giving this too much credit.
In what way?
Bam Bam puts the trash can on Norman's head. He's beating him and beating him. He turns around and Norman like takes a step out of the corner and they bump into each other very softly and falls over dead.
out.
Then Norman falls over and trash cans him in the balls. Then he takes the trash can off. Then he does the big wiggle. Then he tests to make sure Bam Bam's dead and then he pins him. Yeah.
Horrible.
Absolutely horrible.
Hideous.
So not only is it a total joke, but we have the first winner in this World Championship tournament, and then for the first time I think I get to say this, it's to the back.
It was to the back.
Now,
There's a much worse one later.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm
A
sure.
criminal to the back
I'm
later.
sure. Now it wasn't Mike Tenay saying to the back, but we did go to the back to Mike Tenay. He's interviewing the outsiders. Nash insists he's retired, says for some reason they can't talk till the top of the hour. And when they got to the building, that earlier skit with the cooler, they were talking to Mike Graham. Here they buried him. He's not their boss, how small he is, and like anyone watching Nitro in 1999 knows who Mike Graham is. We had a recap of Flair at the pay-per-view attacking the
Holy
filthy animals.
fucking shit. This was the filthy animals burying Ric Flair in the desert.
Yep. Yeah.
Fuck.
A little uneventful.
So for those of you that don't know, the first thing that Russo wanted to do was retire Ric Flair. This right here, I swear to God, was Ric Flair's retirement at the time. The legendary Ric Flair Retirement was being buried in the fucking desert by the filthy animals. They were going to keep him off TV. He wasn't going to wrestle anymore. And eventually they were going to bring him back as some sort of authority figure. That was their plan at the time with Ric Flair.
Yeah. So he attacks them, he molests Tori Wilson, and then they kidnapped him. It's 24 hours later. Ric Flair is still kidnapped. Kidman now has a camera gimmick, and I don't know how many millennials we have listening, but if you saw this, you would howl at the equipment this man had to.
Ray threatened to hump the revolution like the dogs did here. Ray threatened to hump the revolution's dogs?
No, they are dogs.
They are dogs.
We're gonna hump you like the dogs we are.
No, he said they are.
No, he said we are.
Get out of here.
Does it matter?
No. He's something like the dog.
No. I'm gonna hump them because they are dogs.
That's a new one, isn't it?
No.
Anyway.
He's gonna hump the revolution like the dogs they are. He's gonna hump them like dogs. He's a dog humper.
Okay.
And in this promo. Am I wrong?
No,
I'm right. Thank you.
Rey Mysterio, dog humper.
Okay.
Hit the wall.
Carry on for a bit. All right. That's not the most ridiculous thing anyone said in this promo.
My emergency calling. I can get it ready.
Eddie says you can book us against each other all you want. You'll never break us up because it's Conan and Kidman later. Right. Billy Kidman introduces a video which is shown on the big screen of the animals carrying Ric Flair through a field, saying they can't let anyone find him. And then the burying is they kick dirt on him. Mm-hmm. Billy Kidman has a burial. So Tori's filming. There's like a blade of grass, it's sort of by Flair's hip. And Billy says, Tori, make sure you get that thing poking out of his butt. They challenge Harlem Heat later, and Kidman's like, you think you're bad? We'll show you what bad's all about. I have never been less intimidated in my life. Billy Kidman trying to act cool and tough is the biggest shit show. Somewhere in here, Ray didn't indeed threaten to hump people like dogs. Mm-hmm. Conan,
He admits it now.
Conan says, when the animals are in heat, somebody's dead meat.
Yeah.
I defy you to name a worse catchphrase.
It's bad. They're gonna fuck him to death.
So who should come out to
Like dogs.
Who should come out to put a stop to this? But Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn carrying some kind of thing and wearing banana yellow.
By the way, speaking of wearing, Tori's outfit was tremendous.
At this point,
And Conan was dressed like Pitbull.
actually was. That's true. So the camera is just focused on Tori backing away from the ring, so her ass can be on TV with her booty hanging out at the bottom. For a point to it, eventually Shane Douglas shows up and Asia's with them now, and they kidnap Tori and left. Holy shit!
Asia's in heat up the ramp carrying Tori Wilson. I have no idea how she didn't roll his leg.
How many have we seen fall down that ramp coming?
Are pinned one time, you're fired. So apparently the West Texas Rednecks are no more.
Yes.
Still the same music, but otherwise he's got his old wrestling gear on. No mention of the Wyndhams or Bobby.
I retire will be my decision, not anybody else's. They want to get rid of him. First time he must retire.
Mm-hmm. Never mind, as you've established, he can just fire Flair or make him retire. You're in fucking charge. Just don't. Oh, there is, and you are right. The outsider is drinking coffee. Well, yeah. Nash says the censors better have their fingers in the buttons. They argue about the 7-second delay. And then they ask, who are we working? Kurt Hennig versus Lash LaRue. Disco Inferno goes out to do commentary.
Remember last week where Ladferno?
He pinned somebody. Or
He
no,
pinned Disco Inferno.
I forget.
And then Hennig comes out here this week.
Number one contender to the cruiserweight title, by the way.
He destroys him. Lash goes for his finish. Hennig just hits the ref for the DQ. Because you see, the powers to be won't fire him or any other manner as long as he doesn't. So stupid.
Yes. Yeah. This is a show for brain dead people. Beats up Lash LaRue and Disco Inferno with chairs. The Animals are backstage hunting for Tori Wilson. Bret Hart arrives. He can't walk. Later.
Okay. He's got the hairline fraction of his ankle.
Yeah.
The Animals look for the revolution. Brett arrived. Goldberg's tying his boots. Then Nitro Girls bullshit.
Yeah.
4 segments in like 10 seconds.
I am done recapping every 4-second thing that happens on the show.
I'll do it for you.
All right. They're out there talking about the Nitro Girls finalists. They'll be so hot to make you happy, Kimberly. So the finalists draw here, Dan. He kicks all the women out of the ring.
He says you have to leave or I'll stroke each, including you, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Like maybe she might be exempt from the stroking.
Yeah. Then he said this title book. He's going to be the next world champion. The whole package can't stop him. Says Lex Express says he owes him an apology. I did not take Liz out. I do not appreciate. Shivani says we all saw Jared hit. Of course, everyone's watching Raw. Little did I know how many times the letters WWF will be said on the show.
Oh my God.
That since it was a bloody mess, so they never showed his face. And then the interview they showed here was done in black and white. So Mike Tenay said the match was horrific. I bet he's right. Sid insisted the war is far from over.
Dude, they show this footage, and the way they're talking about it, it's like Sid's going babyface.
Did you think?
They're talking about how he just got beaten, but he kept coming back, and he was beaten, and he wouldn't give up, and he kept fighting until the very end. So then they go to the interview. It's in black and white because Sid's bloody. And Sid says, I don't care about respect. It was a battle. The war is far from over. Might not happen tonight or next week or the week after, but when Goldberg least expects it, I'll be back. He does his crazy laugh.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're not turning him.
Not right now.
Who's writing this?
Morons. First round match, Perry Saturn versus Eddie Guerrero.
Okay, so I didn't check, but the very first spot of this match, Saturn is telling the filthy animals if they don't leave, they'll never see Tori again.
Yeah, they'll kill her.
He's facing the animals on the floor. It takes him right in the knee, which bends sideways the way it's not supposed to go.
Right.
Saturn goes down, leg, and they work over the rest of the match. I presume out his knee on that spot. I would not be the least bit surprised. That was brutal.
Yeah. Well, he did a lot of stuff. If you tore, this was not a. He could not wrestle anymore. Saturn did all the same stuff. So David Flair runs out with a crowbar. He whacks Eddie in his bad ribs. Second passes. Eddie sells in the ring. Saturn hooks the rings of Saturn for the win. The out time. Nash threatens to strip naked. The gimmick is he's lazy.
What's funny is I look at this stuff and David comes out. Remember Crowbar comes in?
Soon, yeah. Yes.
And like Lance Storm comes in and wins all the titles.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got like huge erection. And we've got the David Arquette title win. And I mean, I'm just thinking of all of this stuff. Mike Awesome and Vampiro. And
Clowns come back.
The Clowns. All of this shit. This place is only around for another year and a half.
Yes.
Like, it's inconceivable.
How much could happen?
Goldberg ending
18
Brett's
months.
career.
Chronic.
Oh,
Mike
my
Awesome.
fucking God. What the hell were those? Jindrak and O'Hare?
Oh, the Natural Born Thrillers.
Fucking A. There's so much shit there to pack in a
6
year and a half.
In the next 18 months, yes.
Mike Awesome and his awesome mullet and his bus.
And the bus, the fat chick Thrilla.
I'm sure we're forgetting something obvious, too.
No, we're forgetting 50 things. That's my fucking point.
Yeah. So the Revolution has Tori tied up in a storage locker.
They'll never.
Douglas looks around. This is a great hiding place. They'll never find us here. I laughed and I laughed and I laughed.
There's immediately Pete, and he's
That's the storyline. I gotta take a leak, he says.
he's jumped by Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Okay. Except this, I must say, Chris Benoit beats the shit out of Dean Malenko. They're surrounded by cardboard boxes.
Yes.
Chris Benoit gives Dean Malenko a whip into a look of cardboard boxes. Slumps down and like cardboard boxes fall on his head. Benoit was so good at delivering a beating that he looked like he just ended Dean Malenko's career, whipping him into those cardboard boxes over and over. It was the most glorious beating thing to the guy.
He went to cardboard. So he also locked the Revolution in their locker so they could only watch this as he beat him and beat him and beat him. This beating went on longer than most of the first round matches in the World Title Tournament.
And was significantly better.
But that's all.
Yeah.
The Outsiders come out for a promo. It's not even a match yet. They're just there for a promo.
Now they're just there to chit-chat.
Talking about the bosses from up north, TNT. Nobody tells them what to do. They're going to get censored. And then Goldberg interrupts from the crowd. And Goldberg assures them he hasn't forgotten them. They're next. All I got out of this is that Bill Goldberg's freaking enormous.
He's gigantic.
What do you see next to normal humans? Holy shit.
Allow me to talk about Randy Savage here.
Okay.
Randy Savage and Gorgeous George are back. Randy Savage is wearing a glittering red suit and a glittering red hat.
I think Bobby Heenan saying, let's get Elton John on a date.
Is what happens in this promo, everybody. Yes. Randy Savage comes out. He mentions, he says, if Russo hopes I'm going to make an ass of myself in the ring, it's not. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Well, he did have a line about everyone in the back was hoping he hanged himself.
I see. He says, you won't be able to punk me out like you did. I ain't no punk bitch. He says, Hogan and Flair, he's on hit and legit. Better than the best for a long time. He's got too much money in the bank to be punked out by punks and WWF and WCW. Tonight he says the torch. I will pass the torch tonight to the next breaking ratings. And now we're out of here. He left and says, who's he passing the torch to? And you know what? We never fucking found out.
Question.
He just left.
By the way, Savage said all this. He said, I'm wearing that outfit.
The animals find the storage locker.
This is to end all midlife crises.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that is. Yeah.
Sure,
Out there with a 21-year-old wearing nothing, talking about his cock. On.
He's a man.
But you had to lift the truck.
You live in Florida. That makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
The animals find the storage locker where the Revolution and Troy were, but they're gone. Here, they say, they can't be far. They go running off.
Get them, Scoob. So bad.
Meanwhile, the camera crew can find them. Revolution's having a meeting. Dean is sore because Chris Benoit beat his ass with cardboard. I'm saying, Dean, relax.
It's industrial cardboard.
Relax, Dean. It's okay. Says the guy who wasn't beaten up.
Yeah,
by
Shane
cardboard.
Douglas here, the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Just Shane Douglas says. He's never been calm a day in his life.
First round.
Okay, as stupid as this is, the Medusas in this tournament, at least Vince Russo wanted her to take all her clothes off last week, and she refused.
Right.
So he's sending out Ming to beat the shit out of her.
That's the idea. Yeah.
And I mean, this wasn't bad.
This was actually, I would call this,
They threw really fucking hard kicks. She
shoulders,
the shoulders, the
throwing
face,
elbows to the chest.
nothing's working, boobs, and he's distracted for a sec. She pokes his eyes. He lifts her up, his hand off her ass.
Yes.
She slaps him across the face, and then he just tongue and death grips her.
Everyone would rear back for a chop, and she would cringe, and he could bring himself to do it because he's a gentlemanly monster Ming. And then by the end, he said, "Okay, fuck this," and he put her in the tongue and death grip and pinned her, and that was it. That was it. Instead of watching what Viscera did on Raw.
He
last
did
night.
not throw one strike.
No. He didn't do one. She dumped on his back for a sleeper, and he threw her down over his head.
He used a nerve hold to put her to sleep.
Yes. So Evan Courageous runs out to check on Medusa for some reason.
Here's another storyline.
I have no idea what
The
happened.
50th one on this show.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's happening. Evan Courageous likes Medusa.
I guess I should say I have no memory of this happening.
Oh, I do.
He's Evan Courageous, MILF Hunter.
Malenko, at the same time, basically runs out to call out Benoit, challenges into a last man standing match. The Outsiders are back at their couch talking. We're barely halfway through the show, by the way. Hennig bitches to Brad Armstrong about how dare they pin him on the bubble.
Is so awesome. Kurt Hennig is with Brad Armstrong. Brad goes, "Powers that be told me that I've got no personality." Hennig goes, "You?" Brad goes, "They told me to call my little brother and not come back until I have one." Hennig is shocked. Now, to be fair, like, people who knew Brad Armstrong said that he was fucking hilarious. And he was just overflowing with personality. He just never could show it in the ring or on television. So, that was like an inside gimmick there. But it was funny.
He here said the guys from New York called him a hornyacker.
Yeah, that was used earlier, too.
And
Somebody else used
the
the term.
Outsiders said the same thing. They must have actually used this word.
Yep, hornyacker.
Hornyacker.
Brian, look that up.
I'll be happy to.
The doctor is checking out Bret Hart's leg, which again, hairline fracture of the ankle. He looks at it and says, "Let's put some ice on it."
A fracture.
A fracture, a broken bone.
Yes, you put ice on that. It'll magically bring it back.
He is sure to. He really shouldn't be wrestling tonight. Way to go, Doc.
It's a good call.
God, there ain't nothing in the Urban Dictionary or anything you can find here is from Wrestling Classics. A hornyacker is one who blows his own horn constantly. I mean, yeah. No, Vinny, you idiot. I'm disgusted.
First round tournament match. As it turns out, Rick Steiner.
Oh, finally we find out.
The music hit. So, at the pay-per-view, the total package beat Bret Hart, thanks in large part to Bret's ankle injury. And yet, 24 hours later, Bret's the one who gets the U.S. title shot. What?
Yes, Vinny, it's very hard.
Steiner at the pay-per-view, I guess he beat Chris for the belt.
Yes.
Maybe he just stole it. No, that's line here. So as they're trying to explain all this insanity, and Bobby Heenan says, quote, "Just becoming a part here. Everything's unraveling. This is great." Sweet, dude. Jared comes out and joins the announce desk. By the way, Elizabeth totally fine after being laid out with a guitar shot last week.
Sure.
So Tony and Jeff talk about the WWF a lot because mentioning them is edgy now. Jared starts to stalk Elizabeth. Package goes after Jarrett. Jared turns and swings the guitar. The package ducks. Rick Steiner gets hit with the guitar. Jared runs for his life. Steiner wobbles up the ramp. There's a world championship match going on.
By the way, all of this was right in front of the referee who did not call for the bell.
No. There's a world championship match going on. Rick Steiner walks away to get after the guy who hit him with the guitar. Lex is helping Liz to her feet when the referee's count hits 8. And then Lex lets her drop to roll back into the ring to win. I will admit that was at least funny.
Yes.
Not only was it funny, but like, she's fine.
Yeah.
Because she just gets up on her own.
Yeah.
But she's so mad at Lex for dropping her.
Yes.
And it's like, but you weren't hurt.
So yes, It sucks that they're making the World Championship matches a complete joke, but it was at least a funny joke. I'll concede that. Oh, by the way, this all took less than 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Tenay interviews the Filthy Animals. Kidman threatens to end the careers of everyone in the Revolution. I laughed and laughed and laughed. And then it hit me, by the way. I think this is the point. I've been talking about how much the Revolution sucks for weeks now. They're feeding the Filthy Animals, who are no better, and I have no idea who I'm supposed to cheer for.
I'm pretty sure the Filthy Animals are supposed to be heels, but I think the Revolution are also supposed to be heels.
They beat up Ric Flair and left him in the desert, buried him.
Yeah.
The Revolution kidnapped their woman, but also feeding with Benoit, who I think is a good guy. I have no fucking clue. Oh, and also, Paige is involved somehow. Paige also hates Flair. I don't know. Buff Bagwell's at the building. You have been warned. First round tournament match, Billy Kidman versus Conan. They have agreed to put aside their differences and put aside their hunt for their missing girlfriend, or whatever, so they can go to work.
Well, two guys are going to go, one guy's going to stay.
They shake hands, they are friends, and throwing punches, I swear to God, in 10 seconds.
Oh, I'm ahead of myself.
Yeah. So the ref gets bumped. Harlem Heat runs out.
I'm lost. Where are we? What's going on here?
Kidman and Conan.
I'm behind because Bagwell arrived, Benoit taped his hands.
I think you're ahead.
Nash's knee is killing him.
No, he's not.
See, I don't write down any.
This is Conan and Kidman, right?
Yes.
Where the fuck am I? Yeah, Conan and Kidman. Okay.
So Harlem Heat run out and just beat both their asses.
Yes.
Eddie and Ray say, "Hey, that's our friends," and they run down, and Harlem Heat beats both their asses. The Filthy Animals are total geeks. Kidman rolls over, technically gets the pin in less than 2 minutes. Why the hell are Harlem Heat not in this tournament? They're destroyers of worlds here. They're not. Yeah. There's 32 men better than this, really?
Yes,
They're a tag team.
These 2 men beat up 5 men.
They got 280 guys under contract.
So all the animals start shoving each
Only
other.
the cream of the crop is in this tournament.
Eventually, they cut a promo saying, "We'll find Tori, but first, we're going to challenge Harlem Heat to a tag title match. Priorities."
Conan said he wanted a title shot against these 2 Mark Punk Bustas.
Yeah, Punk Mark Bustas.
That's his favorite. He said it somewhere else in the show, too. The Outsiders are back on the couch wondering who their opponents might be. The Road Warriors, the Kangaroos, the Assassins,
Bushwhackers.
Butch and Luke. Bagwell comes out for a promo. Says he's going to over everything sacred in this business. He will never do a job again for anyone. So you, the viewer, last week my match was fake.
Yes.
But now they're going to be real.
Yes.
Especially to the 2 idiots in the back writing this crap. It's not real. At this point, 2 large bald men arrived. Was it the Harris twins?
It was the Harris twins.
I completely forgot about this.
They've been around for a long time.
Not bald?
No, but
Shaving their head fooled me.
Well, they were wearing suits, so you didn't see their arms and their tabs.
I thought someone cloned the wall initially.
Yeah. So he says, "We represent the 2 idiots in the back that write this crap," and they killed him.
Yep.
That was it.
Sweet.
Malenko versus Benoit in a last man standing match.
So if you've been watching a lot of WWE Last Man Standing matches lately, think about the stuff they do, like, Roman Reigns puts a tractor on Braun Strowman, or all this crazy shit happens.
Sure.
These guys have a very good match for the amount of time they had. They're in just their jeans, supposed to be like a street fight type deal. They're having this fun little match, and all of a sudden they do a fucking double clothesline.
Yeah.
Benoit gets up and Malenko doesn't, and that's the end of the match.
Yes. 7 minutes.
What?
7 minutes, and Dean Malenko cannot get up after a clothesline. Not even like a Nikita Koloff Russian sickle.
No, they bonked into each other.
Crashed into each other. Benoit cannot possibly have done this at full strength. My favorite part in this whole match, and it was a great match, by the way. This is a lot of fun. About 2 minutes in, for the first 4 minutes, Benoit just destroyed him. And there was a point, they kept teasing the chop. And Dean would duck it, or duck out of the ring, or block it, or whatever. And finally, about 2 minutes in, Benoit hits one giant chop. And Malenko goes flat in his back. And Benoit turns to the ref and says, "Count." He wanted to win a last man standing match with a chop.
I got ideas.
I was sad. I was actually sad Dean got up. So anyway, Benoit wins. The Revolution comes out with Tori. No, the Filthy Animals went out first. Oh, fuck. Oh, who gives a fuck?
All you need to know is that the heels or whoever, Revolution left with Tori, and the Filthy Animals split up. 2 of them are going to stay to defend the titles. 2 of them are going to go get her.
Contend for the title.
We
yes.
never see them again.
Yeah, I never found it, yeah. First round tournament match. Oh, my God. All right. Brian Knobbs versus Sting.
Is this tournament match too?
This is a tournament match.
Fuck, I can't even believe these are tournament matches.
Okay, here's what happens.
Yeah.
Knobbs comes out first.
Whole match, Vinny. Tell him the whole match.
Sting comes out. His music's playing. He has his face paint on now. He got a fancy new jacket. He walks into the ring. He hits Brian Knobbs with a baseball bat twice.
Right in front of referee Nick Patrick.
He gets on top of
He had
him.
his back turned, to be honest.
No, he didn't.
No, he did.
No, he was looking
On
right at
first
it. Not on the
shot.
second one.
Okay.
Not to mention he covered him with a bat. He's holding onto a bat.
He's holding onto a bat. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The ref counts 3 and then the bell rings. There was never a bell to start the match. There was only a bell to finish.
No, yeah. Fuck.
So,
I ain't gonna make it.
you can hit for reference, everyone keep this in mind. You can hit a guy with a weapon before the match and it's legal.
Right.
I'm gonna say it again. Write this down here if you're just easily distracted. You can hit a guy with a weapon before the match and it's... The outsiders are arguing about who's gonna start the match. My hairline fractured and Brett's ankle. Brett says he's just... Harlem Heat versus Billy... So, after arguing 5 minutes ago about who the heels were, Heat on Conan, and then Billy Kim
Just had a match against one another. And then,
All I know to cut to the chase, because we're gonna tonight. The finish is a double pin. So Stevie fucking Ray does a German suplex.
it went as well as you would think.
Can't do Kidman, who is suplex, does a bridge. Have you ever wrestled?
I have.
Okay, Craig.
Absolutely.
So for the fucking match, comes backstage and he goes, "What's the finish? Is there anything I need to know?" Well, Billy Silverman, Stevie's gonna give me a German suplex. Stevie's gonna give me a German suplex, and then you're gonna count 1, 2. I'm gonna bridge, and you count 3.
right.
So I got it. Okay, yeah. Billy. That was Kidman's first his fucking idiot. You've got to idiot-proof this shit. So they do the match, and he gives him the big suplex. Billy is still... Kidman bridges. Holds up his count. Yeah. He realizes he's an idiot, and he goes, "Ring the bell!" Didn't even count 30. That hard to do this. Don't defend this.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
By the way, title changes hands.
Yeah, new World Tag Team
On that
Champions.
fucked up finish, they announced new tag team champions to the Goldberg promo. By the time the Goldberg was promo,
In hindsight, they should have gone to the back earlier so we didn't see the horrible finish.
Harlem Heat, who beat all 5 of the Filthy Animals, wrestled 2 men who had previously had a match and still lost.
Yeah.
we got to keep the show going. Come on.
We're almost done.
DDP and we're not. There's 18 segments left.
DDP
DDP
David
Kimberly showed up. She
Yeah.
fucked Flair last week, but now she's just back with DDP.
Yeah.
Like nothing's happened.
Paige is mad at Flair, but cool with her.
Yeah, she's in an extremely tight dress. I have no... I mean, that should be like, she's, you know...
Sure.
Yeah, it's like right on the edge. It's impossible. Anyway, David comes out. He starts killing Flair with a crowbar.
A crowbar, you say?
Runs across DDP. David comes in and leaves. Was there a match? Who won?
Don't know.
I have no idea. I'm guessing it's Paige.
Now, in the last match, one pinned him. David hit the guy with a weapon, and then there was no match. Why?
Because this is the worst show of all time. It's 1,000 times worse than Raw.
It is much worse.
Here we go.
Here we go. Memphis called today. Your biggest fan.
Man.
He alerted me that one of the women in this match was Minka.
Yes.
Which, in fact, I did. What I did not know is that Minka, he claims, is still performing today.
That's true.
48 years old.
Yeah.
Apparently, she was a tennis star.
What?
Well, I'm. You both know Adam Carolla.
That's how I know Minka.
Yeah, Adam Carolla. Hear the joke a million times on Loveline. I assume he's still telling the same joke. Explain. When she tells the story, because frequent guest on the show, or notorious guest on the show at least. Now she was a tennis player whose coach was the monography. To which Adam Carolla replied, "You must have been a tennis player." Sarcasm. Anyway,
His delivery's better.
yeah. Well, So anyway, there's two out there. So a third woman who's making match and
Face and boobs, face and vagina. Nuts for all of this.
yeah,
Minka gets on the apron. It literally looks like she is in front pack with twins.
yeah.
It's preposterous.
Yeah.
Nash is flabbergasted. He just wants her to flash. Every comes out. He spears Hall to death. He spears Nash to death. I believe the girls pinned them as well. This is a mess.
This woman's performing bad, right? Because she can't walk around with those anymore.
She's only 48.
Maybe tennis is good for the back.
I don't know the technology now. Maybe they're mostly air.
If 5 pounds a piece on these bad boys.
No, it was actually it was in.
Never did.
Well, now you know. I didn't know either until
Research to do.
let's find out what they said. Go ahead, because 13.5 pounds each. She has quoted as 55 triple K.
Oh my god.
But because she based and a 30 inches, that would actually make her bra size a 30P.
A lot of time.
You should see how long this boob PVN. It also has a list of various films she's been in, which even I keep as best of bosom buddies. That's not too bad.
Wait for more.
Boobs ahoy. Monumental Mams.
What's that one about?
Well,
Oh,
Vinny,
bitch.
Monumental Mams.
First round match for the U.S. title. Bret Hart versus Goldberg.
Terry that. Or maybe not.
I'm dying.
So they're having a fun David and Goliath match. Bret is, of course, on one leg. He's a one-legged man and an ass. They're beating him up and stalking him.
Hold on.
Brian, check. Why bother?
Brian, what'd you find? What'd you find, Brian?
Share with the rest of the class,
Yes.
please.
Keep reading.
No, you have to.
No. Just keep going.
Okay.
So, come on. This isn't fair.
I can't.
Really?
I'm gonna send it to you, Vinny. I'll text you so, like, they're not even pretending it's something to be many things, but I mean, this is
Now.
what the hell I mean.
Name 3. Now we'll have to check this out and time it and see if it's actually 3 hours. Does anyone care about Goldberg and Bret at this point?
No, who gives a shit?
That's bombed. The Outsiders and Sid attack Goldberg. And they're outside saying, or the Outsiders saying, Bret's, like, his leg got hurt. His ears and eyes are fine as these 300-pound men are beating up Goldberg.
Let's just cut to the chase. Everybody comes down, bunch of shit happens, Goldberg gets fucking... Russo couldn't last 2 weeks without beating Goldberg.
No.
Does anybody remember? Can you imagine?
Yes, because they're fuckwits.
He's out of the tournament. 3.
Delete that text.
And,
It's fucking difficult to explain later.
horrible. This show.
Yeah, it is fucking horrible.
It is. It's fucking horrible.
It's a big...
Okay. Jesus. Dying. The Duke of Knockers 2.
In a hardcore company match, the kick intentional DQ in 2 minutes for a guy who can't get pinned because he'll get fired. Submission after interference. Clean pin. Count out after interference. Pin after interference on both men. Man standing match. Pin after pre-match is just legal now. No finish due to pre-match weapon chop, which I guess is no longer legal. Pin after interference.
Jesus, almost twice. Wow. God, even more funny than the names of the cinema here are the names of the stars here. Penelope Pumpkins.
Halloween themed.
I guess some of the names and the ones that I say.